Council meetings are long and boring. Wouldn't it be great if they were short and unboring? That is why I've invented the 5-minute meeting. All right, welcome to the Ashland City Council meeting of May 1st. You start with the public forum, and crazy gray-haired guy, he said there's no such thing as affordable housing. We can put 10 to 20 people in one unit, and builders don't know solar or farming. And we could solve climate change. And then the consent agenda. Consent agenda, this guy here said the fire department got $2 million in grants and stuff, so way to go. And then this guy said, hey, we paid some outside company to do an internal government survey. Is that worth it? And then some city guy came up and went, yes. And so approved. And then the new councilor vote, they voted for Stephen Jensen, who won 3 votes to 2 as the new city councilor that they voted on to be their best friend. And then somehow afterwards, this guy said, by the way, I vote no to the approval process. After I voted yes for, it was hard to tell, but Jensen's still the counselor. And then health insurance for city workers. Ashland is going from the self-funded health insurance. They used to fund all their own employees with health insurance, and now they're going to the state-county program. And these two guys started going at it, saying, hey, this 5-year experiment was a terrible failure. And he went, I think it worked out pretty good. You know, I mean, it wasn't the greatest idea, but we didn't lose money. He goes, it was terrible. Fight. And then they went, They stopped and then approved going to a regular buying health insurance from somewhere else. And then the plan to annex 5 acres of a triangle of land off Washington Street. They had a public hearing, and they were going to change it from a county rural to a city business. And there's no just businesses, no shops or housing. So it's right there next to the 5 freeway behind my dentist over there. I don't know if it's a big dirt lot by the freeway back there. And the guy doing the project said this lot was set up 30 years ago for business, and so we're putting in cool bike paths and stuff, and trip caps. So it's going to be great. And then there's a public forum, and one guy said, if you change it, he said, Section 9, Parcel 12 doesn't IPCO pay for itself, and it's going to cost way more because of intersections and development in the future. And then a guy from ODOT said, I wasn't even invited to the Planning Commission meeting, and I was supposed to. And you guys should have invited me, and something about trip caps. And then this guy goes, hey, do trip caps mean that's going to restrict what kind of buildings get made? And then this guy said, hey, is this project going to affect the Tolman Creek Ashland Road intersection? And the city girl said, project lady, she said STCs and TSPs and ODOT and IAMP. And we know about that stuff, and we don't have it all figured out, but we plan on figuring it out. So this guy went, I am totally good with this project. And then they all went, approved. And then we went to the plan to approve Uber or Lyft in Ashland. Now, a city person presented the whole concept about whatever proposal it is. And they went to the Transportation Commission, and they heard the whole thing, and they didn't vote on it. They didn't. And then the Uber boss wrote a jerky letter to the city saying, if you change any of the rules that Medford's using, we're not going to go to Ashland. And so this guy said, he goes, hey, how much are taxi costs versus Uber costs? And the city person said, it didn't really explain it well. I don't know who's making more or spending more. And then there was public input, and then there's spoiler alert, everyone in the public input, cab driver 1 says, there's not enough demand in Ashland for Uber. Cab driver 2 said, Uber rules are loose and I pay insurance, and the city can't even regulate the Medford cabs that come in here. And then she spoke in all caps for a little while. And then number 3, Crater Lake taxi cab owner guy had a stack of red Solo cups and a stack of purple Solo cups. And Uber was the red cups, and he was the purple cups. And guess who ended up with the most cups at the very end? That's right, Purple Cups, which is Crater Lake Taxi. They won his cup battle explanation. And Yellow Taxi guy said, we are all small businesses. Uber and Lyft are like Walmart. And you protect other small businesses. There's no big box stores in town. And why not protect small taxi businesses? That was probably the most compelling argument. And then AFL-CIO state guy, some young guy, said pro worker and we're pro driver, and Uber does a lot of bait and switch. You got to trick those guys are tricky. We don't trust them, and so we don't like the proposal as is. And then this guy said, he goes, hey, I declare a motion that we should send Jesus back to Herod. Make the Transportation Commission make a recommendation, send it back to them, and then in a month we'll talk about it again. And then this one said, she said, I get emails all the time saying, how come we don't have Uber? But then those people never come to the meeting, so that was the end of her comment. And then this guy said, here's what he went, I can't remember what he said something. And then so the Uber talk was pushed back to the Transportation Committee, tag your aid. And then the proposal to increase utility taxes at $5.22 a house per month. And this guy said, let's do this. It's a normal thing. We do this every year. We got to do it. And he said, yeah, we got to do this. This is what we do. And she said, transportation for old people is very important. And then this one said, the water rate increase is very important. That's what she said. And then this one said, oh yeah, that's important. And then they discussed a little bit about the Bonneville Power increasing their rates, blaming the state-mandated fish ladders and dams. And then this guy said, what if we just say no? What happens? And then the power guy from the city said, well, we won't have any repairs and updates won't happen. And so then these two guys said, come on, we got to pay bills and we have a great system for this. We have a good system. This is a good way to go. Pay the bills. And so approved. And there you go. End of meeting.